Welcome in, welcome in. Today the moon is in Virgo. It is June 2nd, 2025. The moon is in Virgo. And today, feelings of reputation, authority, wanting to be appreciated and recognized for our efforts is going to be a theme. Self respect, self criticism, going hand in hand with the symbol of Virgo. um, misconstruing what it necessarily means to be a human being. If you do not know that you are a human being, right? Because Virgo is the only human sign. If you do not know that you are a human being, what are you really to do? So, this is a kind to the mind episode. A kind to the mind episode, right? So, why do we take it serious? Why? Because you take a shower to clean and cleanse your body, right? And your energy, water is healing. Why are you not breathing? Why are you not meditating to clear your mind? Okay. Now, rule number 1, right? And you can write this down. You need mantras. You need mantras. You need symbols. You need sounds, right? Mantras are magic words. Mantras are magic words, and we must have our own so that we can master ourselves. Now, man, right? Mantra, Mantra. Mantra, right? Man, means mind. Tra means to tune the vibration. Tra, Tra, means to tune the vibration, right? So you're tuning your mind to a vibration, right? The healing of sound, right? So you need a mantra. Also, too, what really took me into deep meditation, like after like after I finished school, because before before I did school and I got my certification and I was like hosting meditation workshops, I noticed how important, silence is, like while you're meditating, right? And it basically clears the way. It's like fire, how can I describe it? It's like, how fire trucks, when the engines are on, you got to clear the way so they can get through. It's the same thing. Like you got to let everything come up from your subconscious mind so that you can decipher and dictate what's going to be spoken. Also, funny enough, as funny as this may sound, like your mouth is a trap. Your mouth is a hole. Like, what's going to come out of that hole and what's going in it? You know what I'm saying? How are you breathing? And sometimes we can talk ourselves into a hole. So we want to be mindful and do more exercises in general anyway, for the mouths, for our throats, for our vibration. It's an instrument and it's intricate. Okay, you are literally walking art. We are probably the greatest creations, one of the greatest creations that God has ever made, given our brains, right? Let alone our bodies, but our brains. So you have to remember that everything is magic. You can create the magic, and this is Everything is so simple. I just want to simplify everything for everyone out there. It is simple, and it will go back to your mood, even your mood in a moment. Even to say, hey, it is okay if you falter. Falling is okay. Are you still gonna breathe when you get there? Are you gonna be defeated? Right? That's the freaking point. So please, you have to develop your own mantra. Okay. Here it says, so the one that I adopted that I still carry with me, well, one of them is day by day in every way, I'm getting better and better. I also want to tell people out there to be careful with, the questions of like, oh, how you doing? Like, how you feeling? It's like that is a very deep question. So use that question to remind yourself to pause. That way, when you are in a heated moment or you don't know what to say to a person or things are not going the way that you planned, your brain will automatically pause. That way, you can get through the anger and the tension and the anxiety and stuff like that. Because I know a lot of people out there are still adopting that kind of terminology, which is also, and then the biggest song now is called Anxiety. So it's like, hello, like sound, music, they know exactly what they're doing. That is not a conspiracy. The music industry is purposely going to put out, I'm gonna shoot your mama in the kitchen music. Like, it's not a fucking mystery. So, let's all stop pretending like these things, like how we're living, is not as deep as we say it is. Okay, and we have to adopt these certain things like mantras so that we can adopt a power of positive thinking, because that's what's going to work. Obviously the negativity is working. I mean, look the fuck around. There's bad shit happening everywhere and it's being promoted. It can even be made up. It won't even be true. It will be made up and then it will easily manifest. Hello, that is the whole point. These are not conspiracies. You have to develop these things. That's why people like me and having good people around you is so, 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 so important. Okay. The 5 people around you that you keep, remember, you're not supposed to be the smartest in the room. So you're always going to become the 5 closest people around you, and you have to be diligent, you have to be resilient. So please develop your own personal mantra. Thank you. Let me see. I wanted to read something here. Mm, 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 Okay, so uh mm, 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 mm. Okay, it's been said the pen is mightier than the sword. Each word we think or say literally starts a creative process in the universe. Don't underestimate your power of the word. Be careful what you say. In fact, be especially careful what you pray for. You're liable to get it. Now, I literally was thinking about that yesterday. And I was literally in my bathroom, like, damn, like I got everything I wanted, right? But like, why don't I have more? And it's like, damn, like, like, why do human beings think like that? You know what I'm saying? But then I thought, right, because I always say everything comes back to you. You're the creator. You have the power over your thoughts and what you project and what you manifest. So then I started to think to myself, like, okay, I don't I don't have a I have it's like I have 100% of what I want, but it's like, damn, I wasn't specific in the manifestation. So it's like, okay, I really have to sit down and maybe meditate a little bit more. That way, when I am speaking to the universe, because clearly it answers, I need to be extremely specific, because that is how powerful I am. I can have anything that I want. It can be created just by the power of my mind and the power of my tongue. Just damn, girl, next time be specific. Okay, so the second thing that I wanted to read, it says here, why don't we chant in English? It says, sometimes we do. However, to achieve the greatest impact on our consciousness, right, our mindfulness, we use mantras in Gurbani. This is a language based on the science of NAD, NAAD. These mantras are the most effective. Affirmations and mantras in English certainly have an effect on our minds and emotions, but the most profound changes in our consciousness, right, our mindfulness, take place on a much deeper level. The actual chemistry of the brain has to change for us to experience infinity. This also goes back to my post on my Patreon having to do with Gemini season and encouraging everyone to learn a new language. Right? We just have to, you have to work out your brain. You really have to sit with it. Sit and work with your brain. Okay, I'm looking for the next thing that I want to read. Give me one second. Okay, all right, let me just read this. Okay, so the science of Nod, right? The Gurbani language, it says Nod means harmony, a process of harmony through which the Ad, AAD, the infinity can be experienced. Nod is the basic sound for all languages through all times. This sound comes from one common source called the sound current. It is the universal code behind language and therefore behind human communication. The science of Nod works between the movement of the tongue in the mouth through language and chemicals in the brain. There is no nerve connecting system from one section of the brain to another. There is no wiring. Instead, there is a solution, neurotransmission fluid. Now, I also think that this is connected to the pineal gland, right? When they talk about sacred oils, I know that they have those kinds of things in churches, right? It's kind of like drinking like the blood of Jesus or something like that. Or like, when your pineal gland or your pineal gland is stimulated, it leaks a fluid, right? That's also why when you see like Buddhas or like ancient like Gandhi sculptures and stuff like that, you see them doing the hand symbols, like them touching their fingertips, is because when you are meditating and you're doing things like that and you're connecting with yourself, you are releasing that fluid. And of course, different fingers and different sensations on the body represent, different planets, energies, forces, glands in the body. Like this is just showing you all the oneness that is in the sky, that is within you. And the sky is your mind, that is heaven, right? The head. Different chemical liquids are secreted from all different parts of the brain. Messages are transmitted very fast from each part of the brain through the fluids, which are called nad, namodam, rasa. Nad means communication, Namodam means addressing, and Rasa means juice. I thought that was cool. Let me see. Um, uh, uh, all right, yeah, I'm probably gonna put the rest of this stuff on my Patreon. Let me look at this real quick. Un momentito. Because I really need people to understand that every single thing is a relationship. That's how you understand the oneness, right? Because when you understand the oneness, that's when suffering disappears like Thanos, right? Like a Thanos snap. It will disappear. Like sure, like you'll have your moments, you'll have your days, you'll have your times, you'll have your setbacks, you'll have your falls, but you can always return to the oneness. You can always resurrect instead of react. You can always, and also too, a lot of suffering comes from, the not recognizing the all and not recognizing the oneness, it's gonna keep you in that rigid state of being, and that is not good for your physical health either. Lots of things can be psychosomatic as well. Mm, mhm. Okay, so here I want to read it. Stress. It says if our nerves are not strong enough to withstand the onslaught of life's daily challenges, then we are going to suffer from the number one killer disease of modern times, stress. Every day brings some stressful situations, some tests, big or small, which we have to face, to solve, to overcome. That's life, folks. Life is a school, and Earth is a giant classroom, and the tests are going to continue until we graduate. The outer events that occur, the daily challenges at home, in the office, the supermarket, on the freeway, are all tests. They are exercises in learning to master our minds and emotions so that we are not uptight and upset. Learning how to be patient, calm, compassionate, and kind, no matter what happens around us or to us, is not only a practical accomplishment, it is a yogic skill. Let me see. It says we may not be able to change the circumstances happening around us, but we can learn to control the way we respond. And I don't mean by squelching or stifling our reactions or denying our emotions. Developing a strong meditative mind through Kundalini Yoga, which I teach, is a major step toward developing our own indomitable inner strength and serenity with the ability to call upon it whenever we need it, right? Because that's the point, to go within. You hear that all the time on social media, going within, going within. And nobody really knows what that means. It means being these things so that you can experience these things. And also these people. Who are they to have that kind of power over us to begin with? Even rage, even grief, even fear. It is not our job to wrestle with these things, but to understand them. Again, I am trying to just simplify what's going on, trying to make people more mindful of their greater truth rather than, the petty, the worry, the fear, the pain. you know you got to get yourself on the right path so that you can be useful to society, so that you can be a functioning human being, so that you can add joy, add happiness to society. That is the whole point. Nothing more, nothing less. You have you have 5 minutes out of your day to just say something positive to yourself, or even just look in the mirror. When was the last time you looked in the mirror, but you looked into your eyes and said, I love you? When was the last time you did that? Huh? Do you think about these things, bro? No, because you're thinking about whether you're right or wrong. Come on, get a grip. Life is gonna life, and life is gonna go on. You have to laugh and enjoy it. Because one thing the world is gonna do is gonna a it's gonna a town stomp. Okay. Okay, let me see. The last thing. Okay, last thing, communication. The last thing I'm going to talk about is communication. Obviously, throughout the years, self-regulating and how we speak to ourselves has been popularized. So I don't think that I need to break that down, even though I've been breaking that down through emotional intelligence for the last 2 years. Let's start talking about communication, period. It says here communication is very misunderstood by all human beings. It says when you are angry, when you are emotional, when you are hurt, when you are insecure, or when you are into an ego trip, that's when you feel you must talk. And that is why you mess up. Because when you talk, it should be for the future, not for the past or the present. Communication is the art of building heaven in the future. Hmm. Let's see. Okay, it says most problems between people are problems in communication. Yes, of course, we all have our neurosis, and trust is a major issue. But when two people really communicate with each other, a lot of problems can be solved. Even wars eventually have to go to the negotiating table to finalize peace. Why not start there? There is a whole science to effective communication so that your words will be received and understood the way you intend them. Yogi Bhajan's doctoral dissertation titled Communication Liberation or Condemnation, damn that word whooped my ass, is on this very subject. It goes into great detail about the use of the various chakras, which are energy centers in communication. Mhm. You see, it says, oh, wait, no. No, I gotta put this on my Patreon. This is too many secrets. Okay, I'll just read this then. Speaking of speaking, did you ever analyze how much of what you say is encouraging, uplifting, and positive, and how much is not? Much of our ordinary, everyday conversation is negative and self negating. We barely notice the destructive nature of the words we use because the put down is so common in our society. Facts. Start listening to your words. If you really want to have an adventure, tape record yourself for a whole day and then listen to what you have said. Woo. I don't like the sound of my voice, but I might have to try that. You'll be shocked, especially when you remember you are creating whenever you speak. The old admonition, admonition, whooping my ass, to think before you speak is still good advice. It's easier to do that when you have your nerves under control. Nerves have to be very strong so you don't automatically react to everything that happens the minute it happens, like a robot responding to a button being pushed. Also, next time I'm gonna read Stress, Stamina, and Nerves of Steel the next time I do playback. It says another fascinating experiment in self-awareness is to go on silence for a few days. It can be quite a revelation. It says it was very humbling. Um, if you really do it, you'll probably discover, as I did, how much conversation is not really necessary or useful, including your own. That is facts. Let me tell you something. The more, let me tell you something. I'm happy. I'll just say that because I don't speak that much. Like I'm happier because I don't speak that much. I'm happier. Even the less I say to my children, the more they will listen. So remember, it goes back to that balance, right? So for me, right, I have a Libra and I have a Taurus. The Libra is teaching me the balance, right? Maybe if I spoke less, they would listen more, right? Instead of me rah 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 down there, right? If I say less, they will do more. And then my Taurus, right, is grounding me in that. And truly, just my relationships, period. We just really have to choose our words. So I'm gonna read this. I don't know if this is a poem or it's just something that helps. But yeah, this will be the last thing that I have for the mind, and then next time I do playback, I'll do the stress and the nervous system, and then we'll do happiness. Okay, so here it says choose your words. Words are the colors on the speaker's palette, evoking emotion in the ear of the beholder. Some are dull and some are bright. Some are wrong and some are right. Some enable and some degrade. One word created this creation. So it was said. Be careful, be courageous, be conscious, be sure. Before you speak, think, will your words kill or cure? Words can comfort, words can enrage, words can liberate, kicking my ass today. I'm gonna read that again. Words can comfort, words can enrage, words can liberate, or words can cage. Some words are weapons, words are bandages, words are penicillin, words are poison, words are hot, and words are cold. Words speak truth. With words, lies are told. Honor your words, use your words with honor, for words can heal or words can kill. Aim your words with extra care. Lasers pierce targets everywhere. Relationships built over many years. One false word dissolves in tears. Words reveal and words hide. True identity, divine inside. Faith in the word dispels all fear. Hold your words gently. Hold your words dear. Be honest. Be kind. Make yourself clear. To belittle is common, to uplift is rare. Value your words, use them with care. Power to speak comes from breath of life. Surgeon's scalpel or butcher's knife. Speak to your soul with respect in place. Come on, you'll speak to others with equal grace.